What's up, everybody? Thralls Melly here once again. I'm Necrotic Nick.
Miller.
Jammin Jon.
And we have an album review for you. And one we've been looking forward to going over just because this band just releases nothing but the most primal, dirty shit out there. And I was pretty stoked to hear they were putting out another album. We're going to go over the latest offering from Torture Rack, Primeval Onslaught. This comes out on the 9th of June on 20 bucks spin. Pretty much, if it's on 20 bucks spin, we're pretty damn interested right away. This band formed in 2012 in Portland, Oregon. This is their third full-length overall. Features current members of Skeletal Remains, Witch Vomit, Triumvir Foul, and Cemetery Lust. And this is just some filthy ooga booga caveman death metal with no love of melody or anything like that. This is just about primal nastiness. In fact, there is almost nothing modern about this at all, and it's kind of refreshing. This lurks in the 90s, and it excels at just being insanely heavy.
Yeah, so basically all the kind of shit that we love in this channel, pretty much.
Pretty much.
I mean, you figure with people in bands like the ones listed there, as far as current members are concerned, you'd figure that with that lineup alone, this would be gross.
It is.
It is. And I love right off the gate, they just pound into the riff and then go into that just double bass, kind of mid-tempo death groove thing, and they automatically got me there. And then the production is like got this like grit and nastiness to it. The guitars sound just gross, and the bass and guitars, the combination of those two are just super thick, and just as on their own, there's unique wall of sound about them.
It's like sonic tar.
Yeah, and then when the bass cuts out and just does their little bass ditty a la, old style Cannibal Corpse, man, you can hear the bass tone, and then you hear the guitar come in, and they just sound really well. They complement each other really well.
Yeah, for as raw and honestly kind of demo-ish like this sounds, it is mixed really well. I mean, this kind of thrives on grit and grime, and I would say its influences are very, very transparent. Like, you're going to get a lot of nods to Cannibal Corpse, early Bolt Thrower, Benediction, Autopsy, Morbid Angel, of course, because anytime they hit a tremolo riff on here, I swear it just kind of conjures up some ancient Sumerian demons or Dave Vincent or Trey. All the evil, all the time. That's what we kind of expect from Morbid Angel anyway.
Yeah, all the tremolo riffs are straight sinister and evil, especially on songs like Decrepit Funeral Home and Impalement Storm. Both those notably have catchy tremolo tags on all the riffs, and those are just gross.
Impalement Storm, I mean, we both wrote this separately too, but we both heard it. There's maybe a nod to Dawn of the Angry on that one.
There is.
A very specific, Morbid Angel riff that I absolutely love. But I would say like a good chunk of this is very much worship and tribute, but it's done so well, and it's done so concisely. This doesn't even clock at a half an hour, and it pretty much runs the gamut of like every cool 90s death metal trope that, rabid death metal fans absolutely love. Ceremonial Flesh Feast, the opening track on here, comes in just stomping away with some killer grooves.
Like immediately
reminding me of Butchered at Birth. In fact, any Cannibal Corpse references, I would say know full well that we are probably just talking about the Barnes era here, because it has that sort of grit. Maybe a little bit of Vile, but mostly the Barnes era stuff. Pick your favorite Barnes album for Cannibal Corpse, and it sounds like that.
But with like better vocals, I think. I'm sorry, all the Barnes people out there. We're still getting shit. We just read a couple when we were doing before we came out.
Barnes now is not good. Barnes then
was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Barnes now, no.
But I love the way Jason does the vocals, and then he adds to the intensity of everything, and with that, like, just there's this like blah, like this blah.
Yeah.
And it's like if fucking Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, when he does his fucking rip the thing off and he flames the dude, that's the sound I want to hear. So Warner Brothers Interactive, you need to hire him to do the it's perfect.
There's a lot of ghastliness too. Like occasionally you get like some group roars in there. There's a lot of reverb on it. These guys don't really deal much with atmosphere, I would say, because every song takes off. There really isn't a lot of like big song build-ups or anything like that. It is pretty much switching off from fast thrashy sections, blast beats, some more grindy sections that pop up, especially on Morningstar Massacre. I love that fucking song title. And the song Fucked by Death, which I assume is a prequel to their earlier song called Cadaver Come.
Yeah, the atmosphere in this album is them just kicking your ass.
Yeah.
That's the atmosphere.
Yep. It's caveman death metal. Cavemen don't approach things rationally and think things out. They charge at you with a fucking, like, T-Rex fucking bone. I'm just doing kind of a Flintstones, except more violent sort of parable here. But yeah, it just comes at you and attacks you. That's the thing. And that is how every song on here opens up. And that's pretty much how every song fucking closes, too.
It's how everything is. Every, like, Seth on the drums, every note is like, bam, bam, just sets it back to fucking motherfuck you, fuck you, fuck. Everything is hit and hits hard.
And although a lot of these songs are short and very meat and potatoes, they're done incredibly well. One of my favorites, Forced from the Pit, just Cannibal Corpse, blasty fucking blackened death metal vocals. It's the longest song on the album, clocking in a little over 4 minutes. Slimy, chuggy fucking nastiness.
Yeah. Actually, this was one that really stood out to me because, again, a little bit more time on it, but man, the transitions and the hooks on here, like, this one is, I think, one of the catchiest ones because you get to hear kind of like the sampler platter of, like, every 90s death metal band you love on this one. And they absolutely crush it. Great fucking dive bombs on it. There's not many solos on here at all, but dive bombs and, like, weird kind of, like, crawling, you know, arpeggios. Occasionally you'll get those. But it's kind of just done to give it what little atmosphere it actually needs. Like a little bit of meat still left on that fucking giant caveman bone the dude's fucking wailing at you.
And that's a little bit of the gripe. Some of the gripe I have about this album is that dive bomb into nothing. Fuck you, guitarists.
I mean, I like it. It's just there for effect.
I know, but you want to just hear the dude rip. And the verse I thought in that song, Forced from the Pit, wasn't as strong as the rest of the song. And that's probably because the rest of it is just that good. And that's not knocking the verse of this song. Everything is really good. I just gotta fucking nitpick something.
I mean, it transitions from one riff to the next nasty riff. There's even, like, sections where it's almost like repeated breakdowns. Impalement Storm is essentially, like, towards the end or about the middle, there is just a series of breakdowns where you hit one groovy riff, they kind of break down the riff, it gets nasty, and then they slow it down, and then they bring in, like, a more, like, triplet chug sort of delivery.
Gross.
Yeah, just sort of playing with, like, how many different styles of breakdowns they can throw on there. And again, that just kind of keeps the intensity rolling, which is a big thing on this album. It's all about momentum. You know, at no point in this almost 27-minute album did I feel like, man, they really kind of dialed it back. I'm getting sleepy.
Nope.
That shit did not happen.
Yeah, and like you were saying with an impalement, that's what made me originally think of, like, everything is to the point and hit on your fucking head. And I love it. It's great.
I mean, it's caveman death metal, man. They don't even know how to do fucking math yet.
Yeah, but Impalement, they give you, they get all the guitar guys to shut the fuck up because we finally get a decent little solo in there. We get more toward the end of the album, so it don't worry, guitar guys, they got you.
Now, I guess I could say as maybe a negative on here is I do think the songs are very similar. But again, you're playing with, like, not that many elements here. Like, a lot of this is just about bone-crushing riffs and just, you know, blast beats. You do get, like, some slight pepperings of, like, punk and crust punk on here. Again, Morningstar Massacre, not even a minute long. Brings in some D beats, some more grindy rhythms. And Fuck by Death, which has, like, a fierce death grind sort of vibe to it. Actually reminded me a lot of Caustic Wound, which I was kind of surprised that none of these guys are actually members of that band, because they seem like they're members in every other fucking band in Portland.
Yeah, and that song that's the song you listen to if you're, like, drag racing old, like, Rat Rod Ford, just pedal to the fucking floor, just 100% floor acceleration. That's the song. Listen to that song. You'll get what I mean. And
in terms of, like, a slight smattering of melody, I would say Rotting Insignificance, which hashtag death goals, I guess, there, has, like, a little bit of, like, a crawling melody towards the end that it fades out on. And honestly, it's probably the most melodic moment on here, but the rest of the time, this is just full bore, in your face. Again, every song just detonates, and that can be both a positive and a negative, but for what they're going for and being completely transparent about just being caveman death metal, like the most primal shit imaginable, it actually really works on here.
Unga, bunga,
and Ooga and Booga.
and booga.
As far as like any negatives I have on this, they're really minor ones. Like, yeah, you could definitely say it's derivative. It's a lot of worship and tribute, but I don't fucking care because they are, worshiping and tributing bands that I love, and they're doing it at such a high level. Like, this feels like a 90s album. Like, legit, you could have told me this was some demo that someone found in a fucking record shop down in Tampa, and I would believe it. It's like, yeah, it had a logo I couldn't read and some dude puking bones and shit. And it's like, I just bought it because of that. It's like, well, good instincts. Overall, I'm going to give this 4 stars. I dig this. This is pretty much all killer, no filler on here. Again, kind of similar to stuff that I've listened to before, but it ultimately comes down to execution and how much fun I had listening to it. And this was a boatload of fun. Honestly, at no point on here do I think it even hangs out long enough to really get on your nerves. Like, wow, that's kind of a repeated trope or anything like that. It pretty much just keeps going along, and honestly, it just keeps getting more heavy and more intense as it goes. So yeah, it's kind of a downhill run of a fucking album. And yeah, if you're a fan of like early Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, Bolt Thrower, Benediction, and in terms of more recent bands, I would say Undeath is also right on par with these guys. Definitely check it out. This is definitely one for all the old school death metal fans out there. I think y'all are gonna fucking love it.
And I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5. After listening, I was at a solid 4 before because I like the old caveman stuff. It's to the point. There's no filler. It's everything hits you hard. There's not many gripes I have about it, and it's all like little stuff. Like in Decrepit Funeral Home, I thought the transition between the first like kind of fast part and when they go into that groove, the first one there was a little wanky. The production, it's a little bass heavy, like with the kick and stuff like that. When he does the double kick, it kind of, that low end just kind of blurs out a little bit, but it adds to kind of the mood of the album, I think, a little bit. And normally, I guess, when I would gripe about it, but again, nitpicking, because I really enjoy this album. It's to the point, like I said, takes you on a little bit of a journey there, and it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't hang on anything for any extended period of time. It moves it along at a good pace, and it makes you want to go back and listen to it again, and listen to it again, and listen to it again. Some of these albums I listen to, it's like they drag one idea on. I don't want to listen to it again. This, I can throw in 4.5. You guys are killing it.
I'm going to give this a 4. It may be closer to a 4.5, but we don't have 4.25, so I'm going to give this a solid 4. It's everything that I like about death metal, to be honest. It's nasty and gross. It's short, sweet, and to the point. There is no shortage whatsoever of heavy, nasty riffs, constant headbangable moments. It's groovy. Every single melody that's in this album is evil and sinister. The vocals sit really, really well in the mix to where they've got this nice low growl to them, and sometimes some high screams and just a pinch of reverb, and that's about the only atmosphere other than the fact that it's just caustic and nasty. The breakdowns are violent. Every song packs a fucking punch. I like the fact that there's no interludes, there's no samples, there's no nothing. This is just straight kick you in the fucking face death metal.
I would have tolerated one horror synth.
I would have too, just because of how nasty this all sounds. But I really don't have, again, any gripes. If I wanted to get nitpicky, I could say that initially when the mix first hit, I thought the drums were a little bit drowned out by how gross the guitars were, but it grew on me over time. That snare has such a fucking nasty thwack to it. Like Nick said, if you're fans of Suffocation and Morbid Angel and Cannibal Corpse and Benediction and Undeath, probably even a little Ritual Necromancy that I'm going to throw in for a newer band, you're definitely going to love the shit out of this. I would check it out. It's pretty fucking good.
So, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We are also on Patreon. If you'd like to help us out there, there's a link down below to thrallsandmetal.com. Our store is there, as well as our Patreon link, and we will be loading up our store with stuff, and we will definitely alert you to when we have stuff to show you, because we'll be goobers and just fucking show you.
Look at us. Hey, yay.
We also have a giveaway going on for when we eventually hit 15,000 subscribers. We are really close, like under 200 now.
Yeah,
close.
we're like at
really close.
150 150, 140 something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I have a stack of now 11 CDs because the Metalhead box gave me one that I already had. So you guys get a bonus CD now on that one.
Ooh.
But all you guys got to do is comment on the video link down below and you are entered. It's also playing automatically on our channel. As soon as we hit the number, I will do one of the comment randomizer things and select a winner. And I'll do a nice little video announcement. And we'll all celebrate because holy shit, we hit 15,000 subscribers.
Oh my God.
It's been a wild fucking ride, and that is still just an insane number to actually think about. But here we are, and it's fucking awesome, and we owe it all to you guys.
Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has come to hang out with us, sit in our live chats, and have subscribed to the channel. Even the ones that haven't, we see you out there. Thank you for continuously tuning in. You guys could do better, but we're glad you don't.
Yeah, there's a lot better things to watch on YouTube. I don't watch us.
I don't really either.
It's probably for the best.
It's probably for the best.
It's also led to booking some shows at a couple places. Piers in Fort Wayne, Howard's at Bowling Green, Yotuma's we got coming, Cephalic, 10,000 Teeth, that'll be in Bowling Green. We'll throw some links down there.
August 20th at Howard's in Bowling Green, Ohio, actually. We have our Narcotic Wasteland, Mutilatred, Axioma, and Cadaverous. So that's going to be a really good show.
Awesome show.
Yep, I'm really fucking stoked. But it's cool that we're finally able to do that. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. After the success of Denver Death Fest, we figured, fuck it, let's do it here. And we did. For you guys.
So once again, thank you all so much, and we will catch you later.